have to come down here. I can't on a beamer. This is we're breaking so many. I shouldn't. How you guys doing? Good to see everybody. I can't really see anybody. Oh, that's a warm reception. I gotta be honest. I'm extremely. See, when they say proud and loud comedy, they're saying proud and he's probably gonna curse in the shul comedy. And that's. I know that's like what the veiled thing, like proud and loud. It's really like, oh, how many times is it? I'm gonna try not to curse. I'm not a dirty comedian. You're saying, oh, everybody's like, you're cursing in the synagogue. I'm going to be the one getting arrested. So it's you're the one getting arrested. But I'm happy to be here. I am, I usually don't start talking when I'm doing comedy about my Judaism, but I feel that it's probably appropriate to do that since I'm in this ridiculously gorgeous room. This is beautiful. So, I'm from New York City, which everybody's coming. You Florida people have gotten soft. Everybody's getting so cold. I said, I just left the doo-doo pee-pee-filled snow streets where it's 7 degrees in New York City. Like, it's 69, it's freezing. I get that. What's happening? You don't know what's going on in New York City right now. You guys can tell I'm trying not to curse. The doo-doo piss-filled streets. I gotta pick my spots with the shits and piss. Sorry. But I am from New York City, and like I said, I don't usually start off. Everybody in here is Jewish? Yeah. I always do a Jew check every show that I do. And there's always been Jewish people at my shows, which always makes me feel comfortable. The only place there was no Jew, I had a great show, sold out show in San Antonio, Texas. I said, any Jews in the house? And nobody said anything. And a man in the back of the comedy club in a very distinct Southern drawl said, "There's one on stage." I said, "All right, we're gonna get ready to But I've been very, very, very outspoken since October 7th.
Yeah.
And, I'll kind of walk you through how I got here, because I just came back from my 9th trip to Israel. And before October 7th, I had never been to Israel in my life. And, I grew up in New York City. My mother is from Lawrence, Long Island, the 5 towns of Long Island, which is a very specific type of Jewish woman. This is a breed unto itself. The 5-town Jewish woman is a specific type of Jewish woman. My mother's not a Jap. My mother is what I call a Jab, a Jewish American ball breaker. And she's tenacious and tough. And and she's Jewish, and my father is Jewish. My father grew up in New York City. My father is actually 93 years old now. No, don't applaud, you haven't met him. This is a lovely, sweet 93-year-old. This is a grumpy, I think that's why he's never gonna die, is because he hasn't gone to that side where he needs to be taken care of. Like he's like a troublemaker, and he actually, the Rapaport apple doesn't fall too far from the Rapaport tree. And my father just got kicked out of our local Starbucks. He got into a fight with a 4-year-old. He took his basketball out of his stroller, and then it was a standoff. It was just 2 people looking at each other, waiting to see who was gonna crap themselves first. My father won. And he's 93, he's got a walker now, not because he needs it, it's a weapon of choice. If you're ever on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, you see an old guy flailing his walker at bike messengers, say hello to Mr. Rapaport, that's my dad. And, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, my parents were divorced young, and neither one of them, Judaism wasn't a big deal in my home, to be honest. We were proud of being Jewish, and and it was, we practiced some of the holidays, but really, to be totally honest, the one thing that was talked about over and over and over and over, because my father is a storyteller and he's got about 7 of them, and he's been telling me the same 7 stories since I'm born. But my father, talked about the anti-Semitism, because as you can imagine, in 1933 he was born in New York City. He dealt with a lot of anti-Semitism, and he told me this story of how in 1943, he was 10 years old, these Irish bullies would come to his neighborhood on the west side, and they would bully all the Jewish kids, and they would come down there. The leader of their gang was called Big Red, and they would run away, and they would push them and stuff like that, and do shove jobs on them and knock their yarmulkes off. And one day the Irish gang came over there, and the leader, Big Red, says to my father, "You killed Christ." My father was 10 years old. He said, "I didn't kill nobody." And he goes, "You're a Christ killer." And my father said, "No, I'm not." And it was a standoff, and my father looked behind him, and all his friends were like hiding in the doorways. And my father made a decision that day that changed the course of Big Red's life and his life. He punched Big Red in the nose. Blood went everywhere, and they fought to a draw. But the moral of the story is that Big Red and the Irish bullies, they never came back. And my father,
Nice.
thank you. But the one thing my father always told me about my Judaism was, don't be a pussy Jew. And again, I hate to curse. Rabbi, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Rabbi. That's why I got off the bima, because but that's the worst word I'm going to use. Don't think I'm not doing without shame. I'm doing it with, but that's the words he used, Rabbi. He did say that to me. So I'm sorry. It's the New York City public education system, Rabbi. I somehow slipped through the cracks, Rabbi. Let me stay focused. I'm just ashamed that I feel the guilt and the worry. I said the P word in 100-year-old synagogue. But, like I said, there wasn't much talk of Judaism in the home, but my father, told me that story. And, at the time, as a kid, I didn't listen to anybody. Like, I was out of my mind. I literally got kicked out of every school from the 3rd grade to the 12th grade. But I did hear him on that, and I took heed to that. And, my brother actually went to Hebrew school, and my brother was bar mitzvahed. I went to the same Hebrew school, but I was one and done, and by one and done, I went to one class, and the rabbi said, "You're done, like, don't come back." And I was like, "What are you talking about, Rabbi? I want to get bar mitzvah. I want that bar mitzvah cash." He said, "Don't worry, we talked to God. He made an exception. He signed a piece of paper, and he sent me on his way. He didn't want me there." But I was always proud of my Judaism. And, then of course, when I was 19, I went to Los Angeles, California, and I became a wildly successful actor very quickly because of my charming disposition and my incredible good looks. And I went on, to work, with so many different people and do so many different things. And the funny part of my career as an actor, I've never got cast as a Jewish person. They've always said, "You're not Jewish enough." Ha ha ha, they figured that out now. And I never really spoke out about, anti-Semitism, and I don't even like to call it anti-Semitism, I like to call it pro-Semitism, because the things that I've been talking about the last 2 years, I never felt like I was combating anti-Semitism. I think that's important, but I've always been of the mindset of being a proud Jew, being a loud Jew, and not being, ashamed of my Judaism. And, the first time I ever said anything about Jew hate was in 2017 in Charlottesville, Virginia. You remember there was these tiki torch guys that were down there with their tiki torch and their red shirts and their khaki pants, and they were running around Charlottesville saying, "You will not replace us. Jews will not replace us." And my first thought was, listen, if the Jews or anybody is trying to replace people, it wouldn't be you fucking losers. Like, this is nothing, this is not something we're trying to do. Like, it's Friday night, there's gotta be something you should be doing with your life besides running around saying, "You will not replace us," with tiki torches that you bought from Target. And then, of course, Kanye West happened, and Kanye West, you know, in about 2022, Kanye West had his, what I call his Jewish menstrual cycle, where he would go on Twitter and he would say horrible things about the Jews. Kanye West would say crazy things about the Jews every few days when he had his little menstrual cramps, and he said that the Jews control the media, the Jews control the weather, the Jews control the government, the Jews control the world. And I'll say on behalf of all the Jews in here tonight, it wasn't so much that it hurt our feelings, it was really, how did we find out? Because it is true, it's true. Illuminati is real, it has always been real. It's just who told Kanye West? We had such a great thing going for so long. And then I had to say something, because I was like, he hates the Jews so much. The only thing that Kanye West hates more than the Jewish people is Pete Davidson's 10-inch schmeckle. Why do you hate us? We did nothing to you. It was the brilliant Jewish doctors of Beverly Hills that gave his ex-wife Kim that ginormous ass implant. They gave Kim the ass the size of a synagogue. Every time Kanye went down on her, 2 rabbis popped out and said, Shalom. I mean, that sounds like a good time. It was not Rabbi Bell that popped out. But I started speaking out about, you know, what he was saying, and a few years before that, my second wife, my first wife was not Jewish. My second wife, whose name is Kibi, she, on her own, about 6 years ago, she said she wanted to convert to Judaism. And she's a black girl from Venice, California. And she said, I want to convert. And my first question was, well, why would you want to do that? Like, you already got black people problems. Why'd you want to get Jewish people problems? And but she wanted to do it, and you know, she went through you know, like a very, very serious you know, kind of intense you know, process of converting, and she was taking it very serious. And I was watching her do it all, and you know, I was asking a lot of questions, and you know, it was the first time I actually, to be honest, put up a mezuzah in my home, and the whole thing was very, you know, inspiring to me, and it started to make me look at my Judaism a little bit more. And then October 7th happened. And on October 7th, like everybody else, I was watching what I was seeing on social media, and I couldn't believe the videos that I was seeing, and I was horrified, and I was confused, and I was scared, and I was actually in Atlanta that day, and on October 8th of 2023, I flew back to New York, and when I landed in New York, I remember turning on the news. In the middle of the day, there were protests. There were live protests in New York City, my city, the greatest city on earth. There was all these people outside celebrating, dancing, screaming, elation, similar to the elation that we were just seeing from the videos in Gaza. And these people had these keffiyeh scarves with their beady little eyes popping out, and they had these signs, these beautiful, freshly painted, produced signs. And I remember thinking, like, where did it all come from? Like, was Kinko's open all last night? Where did this come from? Because it seemed like they were ready for something. And I, you know, I was taking in all the information the next few days, and I was speaking out, and I was, you know, on social media, and you know, you know, and then you know, like we started, you know, realizing the damage that had been done, and the horror that had actually happened on October 7th. And my wife, who had actually converted to Judaism that week, coincidentally, and I really said, "You sure you want to do this?" You know, we were planning on taking a trip to Israel, but then the war started, and we were like, "We can't go." And then we realized we must go. So we took our very first trip to Israel during the war. And going to any place during a war is crazy. It's not like a movie war. It's not like a TV show war. It's like war, and people are scared, and people are frightened. And you know, there's so much you know, heartbreak. And as soon as we got to the airport at Ben Gurion, we saw all the faces of the hostages on these flyers and these posters. And they took us right from the airport. They took us right to Kibbutz Be'eri. Kibbutz Be'eri, for those of you who don't know, is one of the places that was attacked and ravaged the most on October 7th. And I remember, you know, walking up to the kibbutz, and the kibbutzes, they're very, very small communal homes that are ran by the people that live there on trust and love, and they all know each other. And I remember walking up to the kibbutz and to the houses, and there was things on the floor that had been looted on October 7th. There was bicycles and furniture and one shoe, and they took us into these homes, and some of them had been burnt to the ground, and some of them were partially burnt, and you could smell it because it was only 2 months after it happened. You could still smell the fires, and I'm looking in these basic little homes, and there's bullet holes on the ground, there's bullet holes on the wall, there's bullet holes in the refrigerators, and it's not just a bullet hole, there's hundreds of bullet holes in these safe rooms, and there's blood stain. Even though they had been cleaned up, you could see the blood on the floor, you could see the blood on the walls, and I remember seeing blood on a doorknob, and all the time their war with Gaza is happening, and I didn't realize how close Gaza was to Israel. It'd be like if the Upper East Side of Manhattan went to war with the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and you're hearing all the bombs, and you're hearing all the explosions, and every single one of them, I'm flinching, and I'm just like, this is insane. And the whole thing ignited something in me, and I had the honor and the privilege of meeting all these hostage families, some of who had been returned, because the first group of hostages got returned, some of who were still in Gaza, and I'm talking to a lot of these families, and they're speaking to me in broken English, because the majority of them are Israeli speaking, Hebrew speaking, but the pain translated. But then I had the privilege of meeting these hostage families that were from America. I met the family of Hirsch Goldberg, who's from Chicago, and they sound just like me. And I met the family of Omir Nutra, whose family is from Long Island, 20 minutes from where my mother is from. And they sound just like I do. And they're telling me about their 21-year-old son who loves basketball and loves the Knicks just like I do. And the whole thing ignited something in me. It sparked something in me. I was like, I want to do something. I want to fight. I want to fucking kick ass. And I had the privilege of sitting down with an IDF general. And I told the general, I said, General, I want to do something. I want to get out there. I want to fight, General. I want to join the army. And he said, Mike, Rapaport, you cannot join our army. And I said, well, why? Is it because I'm too old, General? And he said, no, Mike Rapaport. And I said, what is it? I'm too famous? And he said, no, Mike Rapaport. I said, well, what is it, General? Because I want to get out there and kick some ass. He said, it's because you're too loud. And I said, what the hell does that mean, General? What are you talking about? 2 days? He said, you speak loud, you walk loud, you talk loud, you breathe loud. I said, well, excuse me, sir, I do have a deviated septum, but I'll put on a nose strip and you won't hear a thing from me. I wear orthopedics, you won't hear anything. And he said, no, Mike, we see what you're doing. We appreciate what you are doing, but you cannot be in our army. And I was like, you're probably right, General. You're probably right, because I shouldn't even be in the Middle East. I'm so pale, like I'm translucent, pink, and like I sleep with a sunblock on, and I'm slow, I'm flat-footed, I got all kinds of breathing issues. I know that I would get captured. I'm not fit for Army now, even at my best day. Like I didn't lose a step because I never had the step. I'm very, very slow. I run like a WNBA player, and I'm sorry, people get more offended by that than anything. And I know I would get captured right away. One of these lunatic Houthis or Hezbollah or Hamas, they would capture me. And they would realize, OMG, we have captured Michael Rapaport. We have a negotiating tool. We can get every single thing we want. And I could see one of these Hamas lunatics calling Bibi Netanyahu and be like, Bibi Netanyahu! Bibi, we have captured Mike Rapaport! And people would be like, who? Mike Rapaport, he's an actor, he's got 10 million followers on social media, he's been in films like Copland, True Romance, Deep Blue Sea, and he did TV shows like Prison Break, and he played Phoebe Buffay's boyfriend on Friends. And people would be like, oh! Right, and then she dumped him for Paul Rudd. Get Paul Rudd and we can negotiate. And I'm like, what are you doing, baby? But the experience of being in Israel that very first time, I mean, I was just changed, and I started talking about it on social media, and I was posting everything I was seeing. I was advocating for these hostages. I was advocating and fighting for Jews, and I was advocating and fighting, doing every single thing I can. And it's crazy because I have talked so much crap on social media about so many things. And I would be lying if I told you I had any idea how much trouble you could get in for talking about Jewish people. I had no clue how hated we are and how close to the surface this anti-Jewishness is. And I was getting threats on social media, and I was doing comedy shows, and they're like, we're gonna come to a comedy show, we're gonna do this to you, we're gonna do this at the club. You got a show in Portland? Yeah, I got a show in Portland. We're gonna show up, we're gonna do this, that, and the third. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't think they were gonna show up. So I had my first comedy show in Portland. There was all these threats. And I get to the club in Portland, and I go to my green room, and about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the show, I start to hear like noise outside, like chanting, screaming, and yelling. And I stick my head outside the window, and there's about 150 people with the stupid scarves and the beautiful signs, and they're screaming, and they're yelling, and they're banging drums, and they got customized chants. They got chants just for me, which kind of flattered me, because I have a big ego. But they were saying, Michael, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. And I said, oh shit, I've been charged with genocide in Portland. I am in trouble. Like, how do I deal with this? I need to call a lawyer. Do I pay a fine? Is there a summons? How am I going to get out of Portland? Because I've been charged with genocide by these whack jobs out there. And, the Oscars and the Emmys and the Grammys started happening. And I started seeing all of these actors that I know in real life show up to all these events with these pins, red Palestinian celebration, the red handprint, a celebration of the murder of those 2 Jewish people in Judea, Samaria. And I'm seeing people like Mark Ruffalo, and I'm seeing people like Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm seeing all these actors show up, and I'm just like, I cannot believe what I am seeing here. And then, to be totally honest, I started getting in trouble at work because my comedy shows got canceled. I had a show in Chicago that got canceled. I had a comedy show outside of Dearborn, Michigan, which got canceled, which wasn't a surprise because from what I know, Dearborn doesn't feel like a hotbed for comedy. My agent was like, you had a job, as an actor pulled away from you, and I was like, well, what are you talking about? Like, am I being canceled? Like, I can't be canceled. Why would I be canceled? Why would I be canceled for saying free the hostages and leave Israel alone? Like I said, I've spoken out on behalf of so many things over the years on social media with the same fervor and the same energy. I spoke out on behalf of women's rights, LGBTQ rights, spoke on behalf of Black Lives Matter, spoke on behalf of George Floyd. I protested against George Foreman, the former boxer who had 10 kids named George. That's abuse. I said something no one else did. Why would I be canceled? And how does it work? How do you cancel somebody for a non-criminal offense? Instead of a lawyer coming up to you and saying, you've been served, they hand you a bunch of Charlie Sheen DVDs and say, you got canceled. How would it happen? Why would you cancel me for doing what I'm doing? But, I was having problems with work, and I've continued to fight. And, I remember this past October 2025, when the final hostages started coming home, and then 2 weeks ago, or the very last hostage came home, and I was talking to my wife about it, and we know, despite all the craziness, and despite all the cancellations and stuff, despite the protests, and despite the threats and all that stuff, a lot of people will say, is it worth it? Was it worth it to say all that stuff? Was it worth it losing work? Was it worth it putting yourself out there to receive all this hate? And I remember on that day thinking about this one story when people say to me, was it worth it? In May of 2025, I had the honor and the privilege of meeting Yarden Bibas. Now, I don't know if you guys remember who Yarden Bibas is, but he and his beautiful wife, Shira, and their 2 kids, Ariel and Kafir, with the beautiful red hair. They were kidnapped on October 7th. And that image was one of the most disturbing, disgusting images of that day, where she was holding her 2 kids, and as we all know now, her kids and Shira, they were killed in captivity. And I've had the privilege of meeting so many different hostages throughout the 2 years, and I always keep my emotions in check because I want to dump my crap on them. But when I met Yard and Beavis, it was impromptu, and I saw him, and I just started crying. Like I was hysterically crying. And he was standing in front of me with this cute smile, and I just couldn't believe that somebody who had been through what he went through was standing in front of me, smiling. And I sat down and talked to him with me and my wife, and the first thing he said to me, he said, I want to tell you, I saw everything you said about me and my family, and I appreciate it. So when people say, was it worth it? I go, it was worth it. I do it all again, and I wouldn't change a thing. So that's my little story of how I wound up performing in synagogues in Palm Beach, Florida. But it's been an incredible time. It's been an amazing time. And it's been, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, for me, I'm not the same person that I was before October 7th. I don't know who exactly or what I'm going to turn into, but I feel like a different person, and I definitely feel like it's for the better. And, obviously, we're talking about New York and the mayor of New York, Zoran the moron, which, I said that I'm running for mayor, and the soft launch of the campaign has started, and everybody's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. Why would I not be? So what, did I graduate high school? Like, big deal. I actually never ever got my diploma. When I was in the 12th grade, my principal called me into his office and he said, well, we'll let you out if you promise to never come back. So I don't know. That's going to be the first thing I do when I become mayor is actually check my records with the public school education system. And, the New York City, it's crazy because so many Jewish people voted for Zoran the moron, Zoran the xylophobe, and it's wild to me. And he's saying everything is free. And it's bad when you're promising Jews for everything to be free and we still can't stand him. That's not a good sign. But it's a nutty time. And then, and I'm excited about this year, 2026, which is crazy that it's 2020. We're already in February of 2026. Because it's actually my 56th birthday. My 56th birthday is coming up this year, which sucks. It's such a weird, and I know there's some oldies in here, but I mean, 56 is crazy. It is a crazy number. I don't feel 56, like my inner child doesn't feel like it's really, been heard and listened to. And, my wife wants to throw me a birthday party because, we never had a birthday party for my 50th birthday because that was COVID. Oh, I'm sorry. I know we're in Florida. 6 years ago, there was this thing called COVID. It didn't make it down here. Sorry. It was crazy. Everybody with the mask and oh my God, and all that stuff. I know it didn't. But I was in California where they really took things, to the mat for my 50th birthday, and there was COVID. And then 51. More COVID, and then 52, I caught COVID, and then last year my wife was like, you celebrate your 53rd birthday? I was like, where are we gonna go? Go to Dave & Buster's? Like, I'm 53, like there's nothing to celebrate. This number sucks. Like there's not one professional athlete that has a jersey retired at 53. Like I don't wanna do that. And so she just gets me presents. Last year my wife got me a dog for my birthday, and people go, oh, so cute. It's not, it's a pain in the ass, this dog. A three-legged dog. And I don't know about in Florida, but in the state of New York, when you have these handicapped dogs, legally, when you take them outside, you're supposed to put them in these bright red handicap vests, as if everybody can't tell this thing is gimp. So every time I go outside, I gotta put him in his little jacket, and people are fascinated by this crippled dog. And I don't understand why, because he's not a good dog. It's not a good pet. And every time I take him out, people want to ask questions. They want to take pictures. The other day it was freezing. I was walking the dog. This guy comes up to me and goes, excuse me, sir, your dog, he's so sweet. He's so cute. Is it a rescue? And I said, of course, this is a fucking rescue. Does this look like the pick of the litter to you? This ain't a dream pet. Is it a rescue? Is it a rescue? No, I got it from a breeder in Jersey somewhere. They make them like this. We ordered it custom. They do exotic animals out in Teaneck, New Jersey. He said, well, is he friendly? Can I pet him? I said, no, he ain't friendly. If he only had 3 legs, would you be friendly? He said, don't touch this dog. This dog will take your thumb right off your hand. Don't touch the animal. I said, all right, man. So, well, what's his name? I said, I don't know. I just got a tripod. You want the dog? I'll go to CVS so you can take this animal. But I'm remarried, and I got 2 sons. That's the real settlers. They have settled in my house. That's the occupation I'm dealing with. My 2 sons will not get out of my house. I have 2 giant boys in the home, and I don't know what to do. I feel like I have, you know, when you have kids and they won't leave, you start to think like, what the hell did I do wrong? Like, because I wanted out. Like, as soon as I was 19, I was out. I was gone. And they just won't get out. And I don't know, like, who do you call? Like, there's like, what do you do to get them? I don't know how to get them out. And like, I feel like I failed as a parent, not because I didn't try, and not because their mother didn't. We tried. I think we tried too hard. We tried to break the cycle of, like, you know, the latchkey parenting. From the 70s, like, we're not going to do what our parents did. We're going to do it differently. And when I had my first kid, in California, and I tried to raise him, you know, like the granola carrot juice when I was reading all these stupid parenting books. I read this, What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is a 267-page waste of time. It could have been one word, what to expect when you're expecting hell. Expect hell, and expect your hips to never be aligned. And I didn't give birth. My hips have been screwed up for the last 25 years. And they won't get out. I tried to do like the hands-off parenting, because, like, you know, my parents would spank me and all that stuff. You know, my father would, you know, like, spank me. My mother would smack me around. Nothing crazy, you know, a little whack, whack. And I think it's good. Like, my father, you know, like I said, he's 93 years old. Now, if push came to shove, I'll kick his ass now. But there is a part of me that's afraid of that flailing left hook that he had that was so efficient. But I didn't want to spank. And we're like, we're going to do things different. I'll go to these daddy and me classes where they would teach me how to teach my sons how to do ridiculous things. They would teach me how to teach my sons how to crochet and how to count to 5 in Chinese. Useless information. They should be teaching dads non-bruising takedowns for 5-year-olds. Like, how do you sweep the leg and not leave a mark? Because the skin is so supple. People in here have kids? People in here spank?
No.
See, no one wants to admit it. It's fine. There's no cameras in it. We need to make spanking great again. That's the next thing. And they freak me out, my sons. They freak me. My older son is very handsome. He's not an actor. He looks like the Matt Dillon. He looks like a young Matt Dillon. It's a combination of Matt Dillon and Michael Rapaport. It's a weird mix, but it works for him in the right light. And, you know, he doesn't talk to him about any of his relationship. The girls love him. He likes the girls. You know, he's very sensitive and talkative. And, you know, he has all these relationships online. Everything's online. It's nothing in real life. And he'll have these relationships, full-on relationships with a girl he never met. And then the girl that he never met will break up with him. Like, how does that work? How do you get broken up with by a complete stranger? She left me unread. I said, what is unread? He said, she didn't return the message. It's over. I said, and you call that heartbreak? You're upset about that? Do you have any idea what I would go through in my teens and 20s, going out in public, just trying to get phone numbers, and 99.9% of the time, these girls give you a fake phone number. You'll be calling the bakery in Brooklyn asking for Melissa for 3 weeks, and then you're calling her already fake phone number, thinking maybe she made a mistake, and you're looking at this piece of paper going, you know, that's 6, it could easily be a 3, so like you're calling Puerto Rico asking for Melissa. And you know, like I said, he won't talk to me on relationships, and I always say to my sons, if you want to know anything, let me know. Been through it all. I made all the mistakes. If you want any insight, let me know, son. I'll talk to you about that, Dad. All right. If you got any questions, let me know. The other day he came home and he said, Dad, actually, I gotta ask you a question. I said, what is it, son? He said, Dad, no, seriously, I gotta ask you a serious question. I said, what is it, son? What is it? He said, Dad, what's pre-cum? I said, you're pre-cum. You and your brother. Hashtag PCK. I said, no, I should have talked to you about that. I'm sorry, Rabbi. I'm sorry. One of my kids, I just didn't want them exactly to forget it. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm toning it down. I'm sorry. What else is going on? 2026 is here. I know we're in Florida. I don't talk politics on stage. Very divisive. Very, very divisive. Trump is 15 minutes away from here, man. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. I don't care who you voted for, though. I feel like, the volume's gotten a little crazy. I feel like sooner or later we're going to all miss these simpler, quieter times of smoking Joe Biden, cadaver Joe Biden. We had a president, the leader of the free world, who would get out there and start a speech and meander off halfway through. Like, I felt safe when we had smoking Joe Biden, cadaver Joe Biden. He would get out there and start talking and then just short circuit and spin around and start bumping into things like one of those Roomba vacuums. Like, I liked when our president would just start shaking hands with imaginary friends. I felt like that was something to be proud of. But here we go. We got Trump. And I used to say, I like Trump now. We got our people back. I like him. A little crazy. The press conferences are awesome. Some of his press conferences. This guy, when he's with world leaders that don't speak English, this is incredible communication. He'll be arguing with a guy and neither one of them know what they're talking about. And it's just, this is just like performance art at the highest level. His press conference last year with Bibi, when Bibi first came to the United States, when Trump got back in, this is classic. He got out there. And him and Bibi, and it was all contentious, and everybody was concerned about everything. And Trump gets out there and he goes, "We're taking over Gaza. We're gonna have the Gaza Plaza. We're gonna have the Gaza Strip Club." And even Bibi was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" "Don't worry, Bibi. We're gonna take it over. It's gonna be the people's Gaza." And like Bibi was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, this guy's off the chain, but I like it. It's a good time. You turn on Fox News during the middle of the day, you never know what you're getting. Love Fox News. I watch it all, CNN, MSNBC. Fox is the best. They spare no expense. Oh, it's too good. It's too good. They got the top tier guys, and they bring in the special news correspondents. The other day they had on Kid Rock. Kid Rock is a special news correspondent. Some poor guy that spent 6 years studying journalism had to sit in front of Kid Rock and ask Kid Rock how we can fix inflation in this country. Kid Rock looks like he got in a motorcycle accident 10 years ago and still hasn't found his way home. It's a scientifically proven fact. You listen to 3 Kid Rock songs in a row, you'll fail a breathalyzer test. That's a fact. I like that. But every state's got these wackos, these loons that are like, how is this person in government? The mayor of New York. New York, we also had my man George Santos, gorgeous George Santos. They put him in the jail. Him in his size 15 Manolo Blahnik shoes. He just got out. I like George. I felt bad for George. My favorite, the outlier of them all, from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That barroom brawl, that cave woman from Georgia. She's no longer in politics. I was like, I loved her. She would be out there. She's fantastic. She's got I just love watching her speak, and she has the feet of Barney Rubble and the face of a middle linebacker. I'm like, I liked Marjorie Taylor Greene. She got that dead arms because she does CrossFit. She'd come out there, she'd be like the rapper DMX. She's like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. She's swinging that dead arm out there. I feel good. I feel good about things. It's a crazy time, and I don't know. Anybody got any questions for me? Specific things anybody want to ask me? Because I know people. How old are my kids? You want them? 23 and 25, 2 boys. They're all right. I bust their chops. But they're fine. They're good. They're good. I hope. I'm saying it over and over because I just want them to be good. But what's the question? What inspired me, the only thing that inspired me is because I grew up on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I played in Carl Schultz Park. Carl Schultz Park is where Gracie Mansion is. I can't, as a New Yorker, a native New Yorker born in New York hospital. Everything I do, everything that I've earned as an actor is from my New York swag. Everything. I can't live with myself with a mayor of the city that I love, that has given me so much, with all its flaws, all its warts. I can't accept a mayor that thinks it's okay to publicly say that Israel doesn't have the right to exist. That's what inspired me. You know, people say, is it for real? I'm doing it, and until there's somebody that's more qualified, that's seeing things the way that I'm seeing things, we're going to take it where we can take it. Now, I don't know the actual schedule of being a mayor. Maybe somebody can let me know. Are there built-in naps? Because I need to nap. I need to be able to like chill, and like I wake up in the morning. I can't give speeches until 8 because I got bronchial issues. So we got to work out some kinks. But we're running for mayor in 2029. We're going to take down Zora on the Mall. Is there any other? I can't remember. Is there any other?
The Knicks.
What's the question?
The Knicks.
The Knicks. The Knicks are good. Knicks are good. You know, if you know we've been beaten down. You know they've won 8 in a row. It means nothing. You know, it don't mean a thing if you don't have that ring. So until we get the ring, excuse me. But things are good. So you know we're not the Miami Heat. You know we haven't won a championship. That would suck though, man. If the Knicks win and then Zoran, I mean, but I want them to win, but I don't want him to get the credit and think like, see what happened since I came in. That would be really bad. But I hope we're doing good. Is there any other? What's the question?
On the show, The Traitors, why does it seem like they were anti-Semitic towards you on the show?
So I'm doing a show called The Traitors now, and I'm having a good time. And I actually I made it halfway through. It's a reality show. I'm a big reality TV show fan. And I spoke about the show, and I love this show. It's kind of like the game Mafia. It's kind of like a what's that? It's like Clue. Like who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, and everybody's lying to everybody and all that stuff. And you know, I wouldn't say I wouldn't. There was 2 of them in there that because I was wearing my stars, and there was 2 of them in there that had a response to my stars. But in general, you know, it's a game and. Listen, I had a good time, all right? You know, people are fascinated with the way I eat, and I was shoveling food in my mouth. Who would have thought? Yeah, I guess, yeah, and I'm shoveling food, and this became a national incident that I'm shoveling food in my mouth. I guess, you know, there's worse things on the internet than me shoveling food in my mouth, and it ain't easy chasing around Lisa Rinna all afternoon. So, you know, but I had a good time on it, and I don't know if you guys, I love all the reality shows. I love all the Real Housewives of everywhere, the Real Housewives of Miami, Marisol, I love her. I love the Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of New York, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Orange County, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I watch it all. And I know some of you are like, you know, it's fake. And I go, really, you think it's fake? Like they're actors? Because I know a thing or two about acting, and Meryl Streep on her best day could never flip a table like the great Teresa Giudice. I watch it all. I watch the 90 Day Fiance, before the 90 days, after the 90 days. I watch the Dr. Pimple Popper. I love her. She's fantastic. The great Dr. Sandra Lee, she's like the Beyonce of skincare. People will come in there with like a chicken parmesan hanging off the side of their head. And the great Dr. Sandra Lee does not judge you because you have a cannoli on your nose. She will put on her splash guard with joy in her heart. And she will just go to work on whatever she needs to go to work on. I watch all the Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, Golden Bachelor. Good show. Golden Bachelor's a good program. Season 1, very good reality TV. This is older people on there, and they had a guy, and he wanted to find love. His wife had passed, and he wanted to find love, and I was like, he should find love. And the only rule was the women, had to be obviously looking for love. They had to be over 65, and I was like, how is this show not getting canceled? Talking about cancel culture, because they have women on there 65 and over. Some of them are getting up there in age. They had a woman who was 79 sharing a bunk bed with a woman who was 81. And the whole thing on The Bachelor is the rose ceremonies, because you want to find out if you're going to get the rose. And they say rose ceremony, and the 81-year-old woman, she jumps off the top of her bunk bed. She tears her meniscus. She goes down like a sack of potatoes. She's down there icing it, and they're like, you don't have to go to the rose ceremony. And she's like, well, if I don't go, this is my last chance of love. And I go, you better get up, because this is your last chance of love. You better make it to that rose ceremony. So I love all that stuff. I love those 1,000-pound sisters. They're fantastic. I mean, dramatic television. Because who needs all the, like, I don't need the PBS and like the smart aleck stuff. I want to see, like, you know, like a woman who's 473 pounds go to a petting zoo and get bit by a camel. That's dramatic television. That happened on 1,000-Pound Sisters. And like, they talk about a plot twist. That was really crazy. You know, I don't just watch, reality, not the news. I actually, my wife and I just watched Game of Thrones, which is a very, very good show. Game of Thrones, very, very good with the Khaleesi. She's a very good actress, and what's his name? The Jason Momoa. He's really good. He's just like a handsome Hawaiian with a slow mind. He looks like he was like a bully that used to smoke cigarettes and steal people's lunch money. He's good. And then the little guy, the midget guy. What is it called? The little person. Sorry, Tyrion. The little person. Sorry. Yes, Peter Dinklage. Sorry. I know you can't say M. You can't say the M word. Sorry about that. Sorry. No, because I apologize. No, because you can't say it, because I said the M word. I was in a club in Brooklyn, and I said the M word, and after the show, the security comes to my green room and goes, "Yo, Rap, we got a problem." And I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "Yo, there's two little people waiting for you outside, and they're pissed off." So I go, all right, well, are you sure there's only two? Because, you know, they're good at hiding. And he goes, no, there's only two. I said, well, don't tell me there's only two. I said, I need you to check underneath the cars and in the trees, because I know that I cool the spot before they attack. I saw it on a VHS tape in the 90s. And he goes, Rap, he goes, listen, you can make all the jokes you want, okay? But you have offended two paying customers that happen to be little people. So I was like, all right, fine. Felt bad, because once I like to talk to them, I do not like to hurt feelings. And I go outside, and sure enough, there were two little people waiting for me outside. And the one in the front had a baseball hat cocked to the side, had a toothpick in his mouth. He was kind of like a little Joe Pesci. And I walk up to him, he goes, let me tell you something, Rapaport. He goes, I've been a fan for 17 years, but I ain't a fan no more. He goes, I didn't appreciate the joke, and I didn't appreciate you saying that word. I didn't appreciate you saying that word, and I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think your joke was smart. I didn't think your joke was cute, and I didn't think it was funny. So I didn't know what to say, so I said, well, maybe it went over your head. Sick. Rapper, you're laughing the hardest.
Oh, that's so sorry.
I love that phlegmy cough. I got the same cough. That's so much mucus. And is there any other question? I gotta get ready to get out of here. Well, hold on, what? I'll get you. I can take it.
Right here.
Okay. Who? The people in Hollywood that are on our side have already, you know who they are. The Amy Schumers, the Jerry Seinfeld, they've already spoken. You know, and I get asked that a lot, and that has been a very, very challenging part of this, because I had to, you know, these people, I know them, I'm fans of them, we run in the same circles. And, you know, it's probably the question I get asked the most is about the actors. But we put too much impotence, which is a $9 word for me, on these dum-dums. You know, these actors, these singers. And you want them to support us, or at least to not say anything that's so derogatory or stupid to wear a red handprint pin that celebrates the lynching of two Jews. You at least think that if somebody gives you a pin to wear to the Academy Awards where the whole world is watching, you want to go, what does this pin really mean? But I've had to come to terms that, you know, some of them believe this crap. Some of them are the ones that don't say anything, are too scared to say anything. But actors are dumb. They're, myself included, just because your favorite, you think Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong could read a book? Come on, with a jawline like that, the great Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong, he can't read. You name an actor, Joaquin Phoenix. You think Joaquin Phoenix, you know what happens? You put a math problem on Joaquin Phoenix, he'll throw up on it. He'll run for his life. These are not smart people. So it's just something that I've had to wrangle with. And, you know, it's disappointing. It's more of a slap in the face when you have a director get out there, like 2 years ago, when that director, Jonathan Glazer, who made a film about the Holocaust, get an Academy Award, and he's Jewish, and then un-Jew himself and take away his association from Israel in front of the audience, and they applaud. Like, this is crazy to me. So, it is what it is, but you think Billie Eilish, I don't think Billie Eilish got out of the 6th grade the other day. She said she's living on stolen land. I mean, she's just a dingbat. So, I didn't say that, Rabbi. So yeah, what's the other question? What's your question?
You saw my child in television teacher. I was wondering, he's a lone soldier, right? He's a lone soldier in the idea. I was wondering if you could sign a picture.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
How would you and him on the beach in Tel Aviv?
Okay, absolutely, no problem. I'll do that afterwards. How's he doing? He's good. Nice. I'll sign the picture. And I'll take another picture. One more question. What's the
So
question?
I've been following you for a
Wait,
very long
hold,
time.
what's that?
I've been following you for a long time.
Yes.
I've seen you in a lot of different roles.
Yes.
It's been nice coming here tonight, hearing your comedy, but also seeing your heartfelt, and hearing your heartfelt words towards everyone. What's next in terms of the Israel hostages that you got to meet? Would you ever do more with them to get their stories out?
Oh, please, absolutely. I mean, there's so many stories, the hostages, you know. One thing that I realize is from this woman's kids, so I met another person in here whose kids served, they're from Philly. You know, everybody has an incredible story, from the most horrifying to the regular, everyday people in Israel that have had to take their 6 and 7-year-old kids into bomb shelters for the last 2 years and finally tell them that it's a bomb shelter and it's not because there's construction going on. So everybody's got a story, and I will continue to support them and support and stand by any means necessary, every Jewish person I possibly can. It's been an honor and a pleasure to experience what I experienced. And you know, I know that you guys know what's going on. I just want to say, you know, the last thing, especially to the younger people, you know, is that, you know, on our darkest day, you know, never ever think that Israel is going anywhere and Jewish people are going anywhere.
Yeah.
And good job. Thank you guys. You're doing awesome work. Thank you guys. Bonnie, I know Bonnie Levitt, it's her birthday. Where's Bonnie? How old are you, Bonnie?
Oh my.
Nice. And now it's your birthday again? I'm a married man, Bonnie. Come on. Bonnie, happy, fantastic birthday, all right? Thank you so much. I'll come over and say hello after we auction. And don't nowhere. We're auctioning. You know, it's come on.
Okay, so the first thing that's up for auction are his Ferragamo sunglasses.